Hello and welcome to Untamed Universe. I'm Cherkin Flurkov. In the seemingly boundless cosmos, there were systems like Chuuva, nestled amidst the vast, nurturing life, welcoming intrepid drift travelers, and burgeoning as a haven for a panoply of species venturing into the galactic frontier. The founding inhabitants of Chuuva were the nomadic Shirren, on their great exodus from the terror of the swarm. Establishing enclaves on numerous worlds they sojourned through, this particular bastion did more than merely survive, it thrived. The Shirren are the estranged children of the swarm, a voracious locust-like race that hopscotch from one world to the next, gorging on everything in its path. A particular mutation prior to the gap instigated a subcolony's detachment from the swarm's collective consciousness, endowing each member with individuality. This newfound sense of self was intoxicating, and these defectors shunned the swarm's indiscriminate consumption, birthing a new race known as the Shirren. All the while, as the swarm devoured relentlessly, the Shirren bided their time, yearning for liberation. With the conclusion of the gap came an opportunity. In the resulting disarray within the swarm, the Shirren made their daring getaway in crude biomechanical starships. Unfamiliar with rebellion within its ranks, the swarm retaliated with its full might, hounding the fleeing Shirren. A 3-year relentless chase ensued, with the Shirren pausing briefly only for resource collection or ship repairs. They diligently avoided inhabited regions to spare other species from the swarm-induced extinction. On a rare occasion, as Shirren strayed close to a populated area, the swarm overlooked them, its focus resolutely on the recalcitrant Shirren. This relentless pursuit culminated in numerous skirmishes, resulting in the loss of nearly 1/3 of the Shirren population. The revelation of the drift by Triune bestowed upon the Shirren an escape route from the swarm's clutches. A year later, they succeeded in crafting a drift engine integrated into their starships. With the noble sacrifice of the Shirren captain Kaisaptu and her crew aboard the Freedom's Echo, diverting the swarm's attention away, facilitating their species' escape into the drift. The Shirren's inaugural jump landed them in a solar system well beyond the swarm's telepathic reach. Yet, as they amassed resources for their next leap, they discovered a comet emanating potent energy signatures. It was here that Hylax, the goddess, revealed herself to the Shirren miners. Impressed by their resilience and selflessness, Hylax offered them sanctuary, bestowing upon them strategies to resist the swarm's sway and fortify their independence. This led to the conversion of many Shirren to Hylax's faith and the establishment of the Forever Reliquary, a sacred monastery. In 5 AG, the Shirren discovered the Siskullian system, with its 5th planet Siskullian inhabited by humans. Shirren were divided on the next course of action, resulting in a separation into 3 groups. The first and smallest contingent ventured on to Utranius, the inhabitable yet unoccupied 3rd planet in the Siskullian system. However, within 3 years, the inhospitable porous terrain compelled them to abandon Utranius and reunite with their kin elsewhere. The second group was embraced by the humans of Siskullian, reciprocating by sharing their faith and drift technology. They've since become a significant part of Siskullian's population, celebrating the anniversary of their arrival in the festival known as the Day of First Contact. The final group embarked on a quest for an uninhabited system to call home. After extensive exploration of numerous unsuitable planets, they finally settled on Ilemchuuva, the 3rd planet in an unoccupied system named Chuuva, in 7 AG. As you are likely already aware, the swarm has returned with a vengeance. Several months ago, they discovered the Chuuva system and wreaked havoc on it, annihilating the majority of its unfortunate inhabitants. In this episode of Untamed Universe, we commemorate the Chuuva system as it once was, journeying through its vibrant cultures, thriving ecosystems, and peoples, who now stand at the precipice of extinction or irrevocable change under the reign of the swarm. As we mourn the fall of Chuuva to the swarm's relentless expansion, we memorialize what the system once embodied and draw attention to the ongoing crisis. In the face of adversity, we remember, we resist, we endure. The Seared Bounty of Quandali. Amidst the celestial dance in the Chuuva system, wherein 6 planetary bodies pirouette around a yellow-orange dwarf star, lies our first exploration, Quandali. This furnace of a world, perched closest to the system's star, serves as an opening act in our cosmic ballet. Quandali, a sphere of molten wealth, swells to a size 1 1/5 times the planetary standard and boasts 1.5 times the average planetary mass. Void of any atmosphere, it revolves at a languid pace, with a 40 Pact World standard day cycle and a mere 20 Pact World standard days making its year. Its equator, a sea of lava, while the poles, solid and colder, yield expansive veins of crystalline material that lay within their metallic land. Native life has never called Quandali home. The pioneer Shirrens, deeming the planet inhospitable, overlooked it during their initial settlement. As decades passed and Shirren society thrived, they welcomed a contingent of Quorlus, amongst others. These Quorlus, naturally drawn to Quandali's stark beauty, constructed settlements by the cooler poles. By the time the swarm descended upon Chuuva, thousands of Quorlu dotted the poles in their quaint abodes. Due to the Quorlus' innovative spirit, Quandali bore witness to the modest mining operation. Yet, the scorching heat of the planet dissuaded extensive industrial expansion. The swarm, ever eager to exploit planetary resources, turned its ravenous attention to Quandali's mineral riches. The Quorlu, blessed with silicon-based bodies, evaded the swarm's carbon-hungry predation. Nonetheless, the planet suffered extensive damage as the swarm's pillaging disrupted the delicate balance between the hot equator and the colder poles. Following fierce resistance and eventual retreat, the Quorlu population has dwindled. But of all the planets in the Chuuva system, Quandali may bear the promising prospect of swift recovery. Amongst the ashes lie the intriguing chronicles of Quandali. The tale of the elemental reavers speaks of the Dunloric settlement's fiery defenders, the conjured fire elementals. These flame beings decimated the swarm on the northern pole, only to develop a fondness for the planet. Despite their heroic deeds, they have now become a menace to the Quorlus, their resistance to banishment and their multiplying numbers indicating a potential breach into the plane of fire. Despite the fiery and harsh conditions of this world and its decimation by new swarm overlords, a handful of remarkable sights continue to endure. A fascinating relic of the past, the Old Place, marks the remnants of a forgotten civilization. Nestled halfway between the equator and the South Pole, this gradually sinking monument of heat-resistant composites indicates Quandali's silent past. As the magma encroaches, the Quorlus were scrambling to study and retrieve relics from the fast-sinking site, prior to the swarm's arrival. The tale of Quilordum, the original Quorlus settlement on the southern pole, is one of hope and loss. Once a thriving mining colony, it was left scarred and abandoned following the swarm's incursion, leaving behind a lava lake crater and memories of a once bustling settlement. Yet, amidst the abandonment, precious materials, technology, and untapped research projects lay in wait, potentially promising rich rewards to anyone brave enough to venture into swarm territory. As we traverse the starlit stage of the cosmos, our journey through Chuuva continues, on from Quandali to the next stop, Atachuuva. Atachuuva, the Juggernaut's sanctuary. Embarking upon the next celestial globe within the Chuuva system, we encounter Atachuuva, a world that thrums to the tireless rhythm of colossal arthropods. A sphere of a standard diameter and mass, its gravity mirrors that of the normal Pact World, but the living conditions of the planet are far from ordinary. Atachuuva boasts a formidable climate that teeters on the brink of extreme heat, enveloped by a dense atmosphere. Scarce solid ground graces its surface. Instead, a blanket of saltwater bogs and swamps extends across the landscape, housing a lush veil of dense vegetation. But the real spectacle of Atachuuva lies beneath its verdant canopy, an abundance of arthropods, many of whom achieve truly gargantuan proportions. The swarm's voracious consumption of organic matter transformed Atachuuva into a toxic quagmire, a steep departure from the planet's original biodiversity. Yet, a handful of formidable native creatures managed to weather the storm, mutating to exist in these polluted habitats and scouring the landscape for dwindling food resources. Among the haunting echoes of Atachuuva, several tales of resilience and mystery unfold. The apparent emergence of a sapient species may be afoot, theorized to be a colony of gigantic aquatic arthropods. Something in the oceans of Atachuuva has begun building geometric mounds of silt since the swarm vacated the system. Their construction bears a mark of conscious design, a testament to an accelerating evolution that remains unstudied and unknown. Atachuuva once served as an exile colony for the Ilemchuuva government, a safe harbor for outcasts to lead an undisturbed life, far from the social fabric. Most of these makeshift settlements were erased by the swarm's onslaught, yet a few survivors have scrapped together a semblance of a village on the water, a testament to the ingenuity and tenacity of these people. Shrouded in a cloak of secrecy is the location known only as Site Z, a possible covert Shirren bioweapons outpost that fell victim to the swarm. This outpost would likely remain unknown to the galaxy at large, if not for the swarm's disregard for containment, letting loose a ticking time bomb. Pact World analysis posit that based on scans from the aberrant flora spread across the Atachuuvan seas, one of the bioweapons must have escaped, creating a toxic bloom of colossal fungal mats that suffocate remaining native life. The escape of one specimen insinuates the possibility of others. Several researchers have expressed interest in examining these escaped samples, the impact they have had on Atachuuva, and any lingering records at Site Z. However, reports suggest that not all of these inquisitive minds harbor altruistic intentions. As we continue our cosmic exploration, Atachuuva's tale is one of adaptivity and survival, a testament to life's determination against the most formidable adversities. Ilemchuuva, Paradise Lost. Now we venture towards Ilemchuuva, the once paradise turned wasteland within the Chuuva System. Slightly smaller in diameter and mass than the standard Pact World, it still hosts a standard gravity and atmosphere, allowing for the illusion of normality that belies its grim reality. When the Shirren first laid their compound eyes on Ilemchuuva, they envisioned a haven for permanent settlement. Its flat and stable plains coupled with cool, consistent climate offered fertile ground for agriculture, giving birth to bustling cities. Though initially a bastion of the Shirren, the welcoming spirits of the community saw it grow diverse as each decade passed. Other insectile races, countless species from native Pact Worlds, and the formidable Vesk each offered a seat at the communal table, their unique capabilities, resources, and viewpoints embraced. Despite this intricate weave of cultural threads, the Shirren heritage remained a keystone of the Ilemchuuvan society, and while not ruled by a theology, the worship of Hylax remained its most revered creed. The cataclysm of the swarm invasion was as unexpected as it was inexorable. Towering swarm starships blotted out the sky, their monstrous force descending upon Ilemchuuva, obliterating its denizens and native fauna with impunity. They ravaged the planet, drained its waters, pillaged its precious petrochemical riches, and erected monstrous extractor imagos to siphon off the world's dormant geothermal energy, stoking the swarm's insatiable engine of obliteration. A world once teeming with verdant plains and expansive oceans was ravaged into a desert of dust and decay, dotted with alien structures echoing termite mounds. The land, now scarred and fissured, exudes magma and plumes of caustic gases. Its erstwhile temperate climate, now tormented by acid rains that pelt the marred world, leave in their wake only the swollen, ghoulish extractor imagos, drawing the life force from the planetary core. The Ilemchuuva of today is a specter of its former self, a world discarded and drained. Acidic rain, extensive contamination from heavy metals, and an uptick in tectonic activity serves as a chilling reminder of the swarm's reckless resource extraction, leaving a desolate landscape in their wake. This pillaging surpasses the usual level of devastation inflicted by the swarm, transforming a once serene world into a scarred testament of extended occupation and exploitation, a world irrevocably altered. Following the swarm's departure in search of pastures new, only a residual force lingered to oversee Ilemchuuva's final death throes. Living starships patrolled the skies, technicians tending to the extractors, and a contingent of muscle-bound brutes to protect the swarm's remaining assets. Yet, life prevails. Pockets of resistance hold strong, composed of those who eluded the swarm's initial wave of destruction, They rally in desperate camps on the fringes of their decimated cities, either living in fear or fighting back, driven by an indomitable spirit to reclaim their ruined home. Despite the desolation and destruction, Ilemchuuva still hosts several locations of interest. The silicate moon of Ilemchuuva, known as Chachamik, or the small settlement of Chachamik Station. Although spared from the swarm's destruction, its inhabitants deserted the station to join the war. Now, only a handful of automated robots remain, aimlessly performing their pre-programmed tasks, potentially guarding a cache of unused gear within their facility. A monolithic structure, akin to a city-sized termite mound, demarks the swarm's storage for resources reaped from Ilemchuuva. Sorted and compartmentalized, this hoard could potentially contain wealth beyond imagination for those audacious enough to risk a high-stakes heist, while also depleting swarm resources and slowing their progress into further systems. Lastly, Vesh University, located in the city of Uds, has become a hotspot of swarm activity. This academic facility was once a thriving intellectual hub, though its infrastructure has now mostly collapsed due to the swarm's initial assault and subsequent extractor tremors. The primary academic building, albeit damaged, is the only structure that stands amidst the ruins, a haunting symbol of lost knowledge in a changed world. As our journey continues into the Chuuva system, Ilemchuuva serves as a stark reminder of the potential cost of insatiable exploitation, where a paradise was reduced to a desolate wasteland. Tarchuuva, electrostatic enigma. The next stop in our celestial tour of the Chuuva system is the gas giant Tarchuuva. Akin to an electrostatic titan amidst the cosmos, this planet dwarfs its companions in the system, despite being considered small among its gas giant peers. Its diameter and mass are more considerable, but the gravity at the surface remains consistent with the Pact World norm. Encircled by 6 moons and faint, barely visible rings, Tarchuuva possesses a typical composition for a gas giant, its core boasting a melange of exotic gases. Interestingly, the swarm bypassed Tarchuuva during their rampage, leaving its rare air unscathed. Yet, its tranquil appearance belies an atmosphere roiling with intense ion storms. These electric tempests occasionally rupture the barrier between the material plane and the plane of air, permitting air and lightning elementals to cross into Tarchuuva's atmosphere. Moreover, the gas giant has become an invasive hunting ground for electrovores, alien creatures unintentionally introduced by travelers. Of Tarchuuva's several moons, one hosts AH mining. Miraculously spared by the swarm, this outpost sits on the brink of internal strife. Desperate miners keen to barter the mine's ownership for their own evacuation, clashing with the obstinate overseers. Any arrival, whether the mine's owner or the concerned relative of a miner, threatens to ignite this volatile situation into violence. In a bizarre twist, the smallest moon of Tarchuuva, seemingly grazing the planet's atmosphere, is not what it previously appeared to be. Its icy facade hides a sentient entity that awoke from a millennia-long slumber when the swarm passed by. Faint signals can be detected coming from the surface, but without further investigation, it's unclear what might dwell on this icy moon. Tarchuuva, the electrostatic gas giant, serves as a unique testament to the alien wonders of the universe, harboring not only elemental invaders and foreign hunters, but also lunar activity that seems to avoid the swarm's wrath. Gluun Rakmos, the cosmic ballet of survival. Our interstellar tour takes a fascinating turn with the 2 smallest members of the Chuuva system, the double dwarf planets Gluun and Rakmos. Both planets are tiny, only each a fifth of the typical diameter, and together amounting to 1/100th of the standard planetary mass. The gravity on each body is proportionately low, a mere 1/10 of the usual pull. Gluun, a rocky world, is partnered with Rakmos, an icy wanderer, in an unexpected cosmic dance. Their masses are so closely matched that they follow a binary orbit, exerting tidal forces that transform both bodies. On Gluun, this tectonic stress sparked enough geothermic heat to support simple life, while Rakmos' icy shell now hides liquid caves beneath. Gluun's flora has adapted to endure frigid periods, awakening only during brief warmth. While Rakmos harbored a unique civilization, the sapient eel-like Rakmodois thrived within the liquid seas of methane and carbon monoxide, maintaining an isolated, magical society. The swarm's destructive arrival wreaked havoc on Rakmos, draining its liquid oceans for biomass, fuel, and food. This cataclysm decimated the Rakmodois, with a few survivors resorting to magic to either escape to other planes or transmute their forms into something more fitting. Several compelling reasons still draw adventurers and explorers to Gluun and Rakmos. Elemental End. In a desperate bid for survival, the Rakmodois opened portals to the elemental plane of water, intending to create new oceans. Instead, icy elemental creatures invaded through these gates, obliterating many survivors. Their icy environment is now spreading within Rakmos, threatening the remaining vestiges of Rakmodois civilization. Soul Defenders. A coven of Rakmodois mages made a final stand, transmuting their souls into constructs. These magical entities, along with other automatons, navigate the collapsing planet, fiercely guarding the remnants of Rakmos. This unyielding determination might make them hostile to outsiders attempting to recover Rakmodoi artifacts. With the fate of Rakmos hanging precariously, the swarm's extraction has destabilized its mass, disrupting the tidal equilibrium between it and Gluun. Eventually, Rakmos will succumb to the strain, and its devastation will wreak similar havoc on Gluun. Those concerned with Gluun's enduring life forms might strive to prevent this impending catastrophe. Gluun and Rakmos, despite their size, offer a universe of unique challenges, stories, and adventures. The tales of the Rakmodoi and their fight for survival adds a dramatic layer to the cosmic dance of these dwarf planets. Relics of the Cosmos. Artifacts of Chuuva. The Vessel of Hylax, an intriguing artifact, is a bowl meticulously crafted from chitin. Only 2 of these are known to exist, both originating from Nakak, a moon of Lyavara. Revered as sacred antiques, their creation is thought to date back to the Forever Queen's rule of Nakak before the Gap. With the Shirren's arrival in the Pact Worlds and their devout worship of Hylax, the philosophical worms of Nakak, influenced by their queen's prophecies, dispatched one vessel to the Shirren colony of Ilemchuuva. This holy relic was bestowed to elevate Ilemchuuva into a paramount center of Hylax's worship. The vessels are renowned for their transformative power. Corroborated by oral tradition and academic research, a willing being drinking from the vessel, knowing the implications, undergoes an irrevocable metamorphosis into an insectile form. The resulting form seems to be determined by obscure criteria beyond the comprehension of scholars and clergy. Most sapient creatures become Shirren or Trops, with a select few turning into other sentient insectile species, such as Bolindas, Dazamars, and Formunes. Non-sentient creatures exhibit a myriad of insectile transformations, some retaining features of their original shape. However, elementals, outsiders, and the undead are fully unaffected by the vessel. In addition to this, the Vessel of Hylax is said to be able to reincarnate a sentient creature, serving as the soul beacon required for such an unfathomable feat. The reincarnate assumes the form of a Shirren, Trox, or occasionally another sentient insectile species. Remarkably, this resurrection involves no drawbacks, and the individual is revived to their full vitality. Destroying a Vessel of Hylax is said to be a complex, if not impossible, task. Fleeting mentions of this are found throughout Shirren Gospel, but there are no known examples of a Vessel of Hylax being successfully destroyed, though a few have tried. As our exploration draws to a close, we are left with a profound understanding of the beautiful and intricate tapestry that is the Chuuva System. The dazzling journey across these celestial bodies, from the fiery and formidable landscape of Quandali, the incredible ion storms and elemental life of Tarchuuva, to the fascinating interplay of the twin dwarf planets, Gluun and Rakmos, all serve as a reminder of the awe-inspiring diversity of the cosmos. Each planet, teeming with its unique history and ecosystem, reminds us of the resilience of life, even in the face of destruction. The inhabitants of Ilemchuuva displayed their ingenuity and adaptability amongst the most severe conditions, while the transformative powers of the Vessel of Hylax highlighted the mysterious allure of the system's ancient artifacts. Similarly, the story of the Shirren race, their origins tied to the swarm and their transformative journey to individualism, reinforces their enduring spirit of survival, the power of self-determination, and the constant search for identity. However, alongside these tales of resilience and wonder, the haunting specter of the swarm's decimation of the Chuuva system serves as a chilling testament to the ever-present threat that lurks within the vast expanses of our universe. As we reflect on our journey, let us remember the Chuuva system not just for its planets and artifacts, but for the stories they hold, of survival, of adaptation, of transformation, and of the eternal quest for knowledge and understanding. In this cosmic dance of planets and life forms, we find not only a reflection of our own trials and tribulations, but also a beacon of hope that lights the path to our continued exploration of the infinite wonders of the universe. I'm Cherkin Flurkov, and I'll see you next time on Untamed Universe.